G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode. So this week we're going to get into getting that bilge all cleaned up. We want to prepare it ready for the epi-res to be poured in. So we want to get all that corrosion, all the tar off, and try and get a profile on there. So let's get to it. Alright, so what I want to start off with doing is mechanically prepping these bilges. I want to try and avoid blasting all this area free of corrosion at first, if I can get away with it, because then I don't have any garnet falling in down the cracks, and I don't want to be painting and entrapping all the garnet if I can't get it out. So I'm going to try mechanically prepping first and see how we go with that. Alright, so that was fun. What we got done was both sides are almost prepared. So I'll probably try and finish them off next time I'm down. So where we got to was, all this is basically bare metal now. So, but that's too smooth. You can't put epoxy resin on that. It's too polished. It won't stick. So this is not bad. This is about the right profile we need. That's all done everywhere there. That's all done. And we've got the sides polished up. Not quite perfect yet, but we can't get the grinder down into here. The stringers on each side. So what I need to do is I've got a belt driven linishing, like pneumatic linisher. So I'm going to have to put the belts onto that, get that all set up and get the air line running here. And we're going to polish these stringers up with the pneumatic linisher. Now we don't have to get all this pitch out. So you see in the grooves we've still got a little bit of pitch. What we need is at least like a 70% coverage on like all the surface area. What we need is that the epoxy is not going to delaminate or lift in any way, so it's just going to always be there. It's going to be bonded to that steel and to the substrate. The pitch is always liquid, so it feels solid. You can't really squeeze it. You can snap it in some spots, but technically pitch is always liquid. So it's never exactly going to seal up. It's always going to peel away, and you know, water can get in at some different temperatures. And you know, it's a bilge. We want to be able to clean the bottom. So we don't have to get all the pitch out, because the pitch in itself is going to seal anything that it's touching. It's going to be like a tar. It's not going to allow moisture to get into this substrate if applied properly. But what's going to happen now, we're going to put a layer of epoxy over the top. That's going to seal it up, so no more water gets in. And if there's any oxygen in there, yes, there'll be corrosion, but that oxygen will be depleted because it won't be replenished. The epoxy is going to seal that up. So eventually the corrosion process in there will stop. So if you've seen my corrosion episode a few weeks back, I mentioned that, you know, corrosion can't happen without oxygen. So yeah, just we'll seal this up. It's not quite got enough profile on there currently for the epoxy to adhere to, so we do need to scuff it all up, clean it up a little bit better than what it is now. So once we got that linisher in there, that belt driven linisher, that's really going to get that really nice and clean in there. It's going to give us a nice profile, and we may have to dress it up manually by hand with some 60 to 80 grit emery paper, just to really key that surface up so the epoxy will stick. But you know, we're nearly there with the preparation. It's only day one at the moment. I haven't got a lot of time this week because I've got some family issues that we're dealing with. But I'm still going to get a little bit of progress done. So hopefully these are all prepared by the end of the week. So I'll be back in a couple of days to get that linishing belt done, and then we'll really clean the rest of those stringers up, because they're just not quite right yet. All right, I was driving around the other day, and I don't know if anyone's seen the episodes that I do with my fish tank in the background. So I ran out of fish food, went down to my local fish shop that sells marine food, and the next door was a carpet joint, and the carpet joint was getting rid of some old carpet. So they must have installed a new house with new carpet, and they had all this old stuff left over. So I asked them if they wanted it, and they said I can have it. Didn't cost me anything. So I thought, every couple of weeks I've got to whippersnip all these weeds, and it slows me down a bit. So I thought if I roll some of this carpet out, one, it keeps the dust down, because this is just a bit of a dust pile here, and it keeps my weeds down, so less maintenance I have to do around the place. It gets more work done on the boat, so I might just roll them out. So I just rolled out a couple of pieces, and we've got some pieces over here. Now I might move them around a bit, but for now I've just rolled them out in where a rough spot where they'll be, and they've got to flatten out a bit. So they've been rolled up for a few days, so they'll flatten out. But it'd be a lot nicer to sit under here with a carpet, get all the dirt getting in underneath your toes. Got a nice little walkway going towards the stairs. So that will do for now. So I'll be back in a few days to finish off the bilge. So I'm back for day 2 at the boat. So I need to really clean up those stringers. When I tried the other day, I couldn't get into this little gaps there to get the corrosion and all the crap build up on those stringers running across the bottom there. So I've got this little pneumatic, this is like linishing tool. That's the only name I know it by, linishing grinder. So we're going to get in there and we get into the cracks, and we can really get in there and clean those strings up. So I'm going to give this a go. I've only got like 5 or 6 little sanding pads for it. So hopefully that'll be enough to get this job done. If not, I'll probably be having to do it by hand. We'll get the majority done by this. So let's get into doing some sanding. We've just finished prepping all the areas, so they're all pretty nice. All the corrosion's gone, all the loose paint and tar is out of there. It's all pretty clean. Unfortunately, what I have found in this one, in the most forward bilge, there's no corrosion in here, but we found some large areas of corrosion in here. So if I get my little torch in my phone and stick that in there, you can see that this is corroded in here. It's not looking too great. So the pitch has just been resting up against that. It hasn't been coated properly, and she started corroding in between the pitch. So they have fairly sharp edges on the pits. So what happens when you have sharp edges is that it doesn't go, the corrosion doesn't spread out like this. It goes directly into the hull. So it just burrows in. So that could be a leak in about 5 to 6 years, I reckon. And it's on the other side as well. So these ones are a little bit deeper. So we've got some more over here. Move the torch closer. So little bits of corrosion. So what I need to do to fix this issue is we need to get a die grinder, and we need to blend out those pits. So you blend the pits out so that each depth you blend down for every millimeter. You blend out about 10 millimeters in diameter. So this way that the corrosion cell doesn't dig in and continue going down. And also we use dye penetrant to test to make sure that there is no corrosion left. So a lot of people will just use dye penetrant testing just for welds to make sure there's no cracks or linear problems with your welds. But you also just use it for corrosion detection. So you blend out your corrosion, you put your dye on, and then wipe it off. And once you put your develop on, you'll see if there's any more corrosion pitting left in that blend. So we're going to have to go through that process next week. I'm not going to be able to pour any resin in here until I've blended out all the corrosion. Now if the corrosion goes any more than probably 2 mil deep, I'm going to have to pad weld them up. Although it's structurally fine, I don't want corrosion and metal loss, which is still okay for this boat. It's supposed to be a brand new boat, so I want to be able to pad weld them up, and then I know that's going to be good for the lifetime of my boat while I've got it. So happy to put in the work, but slows us down a bit more. But you can't help when you find these things. You've got to fix them when you find them. So I'll try and get onto that next week. A bit of a short one this week. We've had a little bit of family issues going on. We lost a couple of members of our family in the last couple of weeks. So that's a bit sad, but we're going to be dealing with that. So I've managed to get those bilges all cleaned up. Next week we'll start fixing up that corrosion in that forward part of the bilge. We'll basically just die grind out all the pits and blend them out nicely and put pad welds on where required. So that'll be next week, just trying to continue on with those bilges. I've got other jobs on in the background that we'll come up with a bit later, but yeah, we'll push on with that for now. So sorry if I haven't got back to everyone's comments lately. Yeah, we've just been dealing with family stuff. But we'll get back on top of everything, so bear with me, sorry about that. And we'll see everyone next week, so don't forget to leave a comment and a like, and yeah, see everyone back next week. Thanks guys.